In a world full of Dungeons & Dragons content, Jamazing presents a new way of playing the classic tabletop game. Welcome to DM Roulette, a game where the players rotate who the Dungeon Master will be each month. No need to sift through countless episodes to figure out what's going on here. Each adventure will begin and end in 3 parts. And don't you worry, the beloved cast of characters will stay consistent from adventure to adventure, unless they die. So, without further ado, let's start the next episode of DM Roulette.
Hello everyone, everything should, okay, now Discord and Zoom is also unmuted, so everyone can hear everyone. Welcome to DM Roulette. This is the first part of Adventure 8, and I am the DM, so, let's jump right into it. No need to do any kind of recap. Essentially, at the end of Evan's adventure, our whole party had met back up with Beatrice after her booty call, I suppose. And we continued our adventuring. We continued to seek adventure and quests. One fateful evening during a pretty terrible storm, all 7 of us, so I guess I should have started with that, as the people or audience might be aware or see that Frankie and Evan are not going to be here today. But no worries, hooray! I have the RP of what happens to their characters to kind of take them out. Are going to distract me. But so we are all together, all 7 of us, all 7 of our characters are together. So there was a fateful storm. We were rushed into a cave, and then there was a mudslide that completely blocked our exit from leaving the cave. We spent the night resting, and in the morning attempted to find a way past the rubble, but were unsuccessful in doing so. All evening, or all during the night, Minos had been quite uneasy. He kept muttering about, "Oh, I think it might be around here somewhere." Without giving much more indication of what he was talking about, the group delved deeper into this cave system. Minos, whenever it came to any kind of fork in the road, had an inherent kind of pull or knowledge or something that would lead the group in a certain direction. As much as Beatrice tried to get the information out of Minos for once, he was actually quite focused. Soon, going through the cave rocks. What is happening? Shakira, get out of here! Soon, the natural cave and rocks and rubble that you had kind of grown somewhat accustomed to in this cavern switches to a very smooth stone. This stone is a slate kind of blue-gray color, and it's got ley lines that are etched into it, and there's a whole tunnel made of this stone. So the natural cavern opens up into this tunnel that's about 20 feet by 20 feet wide. And Minos goes, "Oh yeah, it's just like I thought. We're in lab. Well, hey everyone, come this way. This is my hometown. Well, in case you need any help remembering how to spell that, Oliver, I got a little. My mama taught me how to remember how to spell it. It's okay. First, it's L as in the first letter of lab, and then it's A because that's the second letter in lab, and finally B, and that's how you spell lab." Unfortunately, while everyone was listening to this cute little tune that Minos had to sing to remember how to spell lab, a rumble started to shake the tunnel, and instantly, with very kind of, very seriously, Minos instantly commands the group to start running, where a door, a stone door or a stone wall is currently descending that will prevent their path moving forward. Unfortunately, as they're running, Minos did not notice that Rocket had been so captured and enamored with this strange stone that she was lagging behind a little bit. Instantly, Minos turns on his heel, runs back to Rocket, grabs her, activates whatever kind of gizmo that she has on her back, which opens up a saucer, and he bowls her underneath the closing wall, and she makes it on the other side with the rest of the group, but Minos has been separated from everyone. When the stone wall completely lands or finishes or ends, I guess, the bottom of it seems to meld with the tunnel or the hallway that you're currently in, making it look like you're currently in a dead end. The wall itself, however, has some pinprick holes that have been cleverly kind of etched as part of it, you would assume, that allow for a somewhat disconnected communication that could still happen on either side of the wall. So you could still hear Minos. He goes, "Oh, sorry I didn't tell you guys earlier, but I guess we just had a shifting. So sometimes the walls in the hallways just close and they separate us. But don't worry. If we can all meet at Her Royal Moonness's pasture. It's right in the middle of lab. All paths lead to it." Oh, wait, there's somebody here. Maybe they can help. Just 1 second. Oh, hi, I'm Minos. And as soon as you hear the "hi, I'm Minos" that you're so used to, you hear a thud and a sickening sound as a 450-pound minotaur crumbles to the stone floor on the other side of this wall. And that's where I'm opening it up to the party.
Rocket, I guess, will pound on the door, try to pry it open with her little arms.
Okay, as you're kind of beating on it, no effect at all. Not even really making much sound as you're kind of just slapping at the wall.
Big are these holes?
What,
The
no
holes?
strength check even?
No strength check even.
Wow.
The holes are, it's almost like a graded kind of system where, sound can get through, but there's no way you'd be able to look through. They're too small. But you could still speak, I guess, to the other side if you wanted to.
Minos! Minos! What's going on? Are you okay?
You get no reply. Soon you start hearing, it sounds like drag marks or drag sounds. Big bag potatoes being dragged on the floor.
It's clearly dead. I say we move on.
No, don't.
We can't leave him.
Here. Can we look for a mechanism? Is there any way to
Give
open
me
the wall from the side?
give me a perception.
Skill check.
Yeah, check perception.
18.
So this hallway, now you're getting kind of a better look at the stonework and these lines that have been etched around that are going all around. The lines of the floor have now connected with the lines on the wall to make it even more seem like it's never been a movable wall to begin with. The lines itself produce a small glow that when you look down the rest of the hallway, you can see, if you were like in a cave, a phosphorant kind of mushroom kind of glow, that is kind of illuminating the hallway beyond. However, in the immediate vicinity, you don't see any mechanism that could potentially open this door.
Well, maybe we'll have to take the long way around. If everywhere goes to the pasture, then we can get back to the other side from the pasture.
We can find a new Minotaur in the pasture. It's not like Minos is irreplaceable.
Yes, he is.
Sorry, did you explain B's absence?
Oh no, B and Oliver are there as well. Shocked at what just happened, but if you want, I can try to answer any questions if you if you have some for
weird.
them.
I would just I don't know if I can do this, because if everyone's playing right now, I'd ask if you can detect thoughts. see what kind of creature it is, or like if he can sense the motivation of what's happening.
Right.
If there's like another being there.
How thick is the stone?
So while you were running beneath it, while it was closing, it looked to be about between 5 and 10 feet in thickness. So that sounds like a great idea, but I can't see the other side, so I wouldn't be able to detect any of their thoughts.
I do have 3 sticks of dynamite that I am carrying around.
Perfect.
Would you like
Pass
to
me
try
one.
Yeah. Here, get a pilot hole going.
I guess I'll try and like drill like a little hole using some tools to like put it in.
Okay, while you're drilling into the wall, while you attempt to drill into the wall, you make no mark at all in the stone. Your tool is not strong enough to be able to do anything.
Not the first time he's heard that.
But like, do you want me to like do a strength check?
Definitely, that will change everything.
Just in case. Iron Jaw, I can't seem to like put a dent in this thing.
Yeah,
Maybe you should try. You're stronger.
I mean, I have a mining pick, but I'm pretty sure if I'll swing, but I'm pretty sure it's also not going to do anything.
And just
seems like some
as
kind of
Iron
magical
Jaw
seal.
expects, swings at the wall, and the mine pick bounces off harmlessly, not leaving even a little peck of where it had connected with the stone.
When you say that the holes are really small, are we talking like dime, penny, smaller?
Smaller, like
Like cheesecloth?
like a flower stem would be able to like fit in it, maybe.
Like a sunflower stem? Because those are really big. Those are
True.
way
Like
bigger
a
than a penny.
daisy flower stem. Jeez. You'll hear a
I think
voice,
that
I
Minos
guess,
would want
from
us to mourn him and move on. Let us not disgrace his memory with these pathetic attempts to change his fate. Acceptance is the first step to healing.
It certainly doesn't seem to be worthwhile standing around here doing nothing.
It looks like a dead end to us, though, right?
So the way you came looks like a dead end to you, but you've got now a hallway that leads deeper into wherever you're going. And down that hallway, there are countless other turns. Well, not turns, but like doorways that lead other ways into lab, I guess.
Signs?
Signs. So you start heading down the hallway, and as Rocket had thought, there actually has been a sign that has been kind of placed. It looks completely out of place with the rest of the stone. It's just this wooden kind of placard that's leaning up against the wall. It says Minos, and then there's an arrow. It looks very badly written, perhaps by a Minotaur, but it's pointing down a certain hallway.
Looks like this is the way, guys.
So continuing down the strange passages, so the main hallways are 20 feet by 20 feet. As you're going through them, you sometimes enter junctures of like a square where there would be a way to go left, right, or continue forward. Sometimes the walls are shut, sometimes the walls are open, but as you are moving down and about, there's constantly these shifts. The one way you were going, where the signs were pointing towards Minos' pasture, closes, and you're forced to go another way. But there's another sign anyway that way that continues to point. Each sign is different in its own. Sometimes it's very well written which way Her Royal Minos' pasture is. Sometimes it just has like a picture of a crown. It all in all, you're able to kind of keep on the path that you're hoping for if the signs are not lying to you, of course. During your travels, Beatrice gets distracted by some beefy-looking minotaur. She tells you that she's going to... she'll get some directions, just wait. And when she heads off in the direction of them, a wall closes. And she goes, oh, my bad. She says, I'll meet you at Her Royal Moonness's pasture, I guess. I got some excellent guides here, isn't that right? And she heads off down this kind of path that she got separated from.
I would like to grab onto Oliver's arm and be like, you stay right with me, mister. I have a feeling about this.
So...
He didn't have a feeling about how the tunnel was collapsing and Minos had just sacrificed himself to save you.
So now you care?
No, I would not make his mistake. I would not sacrifice my life to save your distraction.
You like
Finally,
me. I know you
after
do.
hours of travel, the pathway, what was completely level this kind of entire time that you have made it into this special rock area, the path starts to widen and head upwards a little bit. You see ahead a huge opening, at least 30 feet by 30 feet, and many Minotaur are kind of coming and going. You see some sunlight coming from the other side of the wall. Or, sorry, other side of or the destination, I guess, of where you guys are walking. However, a giant wall of it starts to close towards this path to sunlight, and the Minotaur all start to scramble and worry, and chaos ensues as they're Minotaur coming in, Minotaur going out. They're trying to pick each other, being like, let's go in, let's go out, let's go in. You guys are all struggling to get inside. This is your best bet to continue on your way towards Minos. You push aside the other Minotaur. At least they're all very big. Rocket is especially kind of easy to walk kind of past all of the Minotaur feet. And you make... You're just in time. You slide underneath. Maybe Rocket was quick enough. One of you had a very epic moment anyway. The wall closes behind you as all of you make it into the pasture that you were aiming for, I guess. All of you except one, Oliver, got caught up in the chaos of the shuffling Minotaur. Rocket was not able to kind of keep a hold on the wizard, and he too has been separated. Now, I'm going to give you a description of the pasture. This description is essentially what's been going on moments before you arrived. But since you arrived, everything has changed. So, a typical pasture, the way this looks, is you enter this sun, the sky, you look up, instantly you see sky, and there's grassland outside here. This rock, or this stone, this bluish stone with these ley lines that are on it, juts up in a wall, penetrating kind of the top of the earth, at least 100 feet tall. There are also 7 other walls that are connected that enclose the pasture in with these huge walls that each one of them would have tunnels that will lead kind of further back down into lab. Currently, about, I guess, 3 of the walls, so it's an octagonal kind of pen or pasture that's going on to the outside here. Each one of the walls has its own opening or closing that would let you kind of go further in. I think I may have already mentioned that. Currently, 3 of them are shut and 5 of them are open. In the grasslands that you're currently in, it's pretty small, the size of a small village, really. There's 80%, I guess, or 90% of the population are Minotaur that are lounging about, enjoying the sun, eating grass, milling. Some of them have blankets laid out. They're having a picnic. Others are selling some wares. Minotaur are coming in and out constantly from the different walls into this pasture. But there are also other races and other people that are here, but they are definitely the outsiders based on just the number of Minotaurs. So other races, they're humans, gnomes, like halflings, whatever, peppered in kind of with the rest of the Minotaur that are lounging about in the grasslands or in the pasture. Each of the doors that would lead back down kind of into lab is flanked by two buff-looking dragonborn that wield tridents. So this is each one of the 8 walls will have 2 dragonborns that are flanking the passageway back into lab. And dragonborn being humanoid creatures that are dragons. They're scaly, but they don't have wings typically, perhaps if they were to develop that. But these guys don't, just buff-looking dragonborn with tridents. That is kind of what the pasture looks like, or this is a typical day in the pasture. However, you guys have just kind of rushed in. There's been a shifting, and the door that you came through has now been shut. A couple others have recently been shut, and the ones that were shut have opened up. All of the Minotaur have gone, they are so scared, confused, there's chaos going about, and let me just play this music. When you make it in to the pasture and the door has shut, there are at least a dozen Minotaur that are kind of right around that had just made it inside with you. There were others that got blocked by the door that were trying to head out. The Minotaur are shouting, "A shifting! A shifting! It's a shifting!" And instantly, almost as if they were, some sort of like safety fire procedure, they all kind of jump into action. They run into like little pods of one another, and they start to reassure themselves. So they start saying things like, "You're beautiful, you're calm, everything's gonna be okay, you're loved." But to the left of you, one Minotaur is starting to hyperventilate. He goes, "One moment here, now 1 moment not here. We don't understand. We were so careful." He starts to hyperventilate even more and more, and then he holds his chest as he screams this roar that deafens you. He starts to grow in size. His skin rips as the muscle starts to bulge out. Blood starts to pour from his eyes and ears. His eyes have gone completely red. People nearby, the Minotaur nearby, the other outsiders that are in the pasture scream and shout, "The madness! He has the madness!" In this moment, when this Minotaur shifts to the right of you, another Minotaur is looking a little scared and frantic. He's trying to join these pods of other groups that are giving reinforcements, but when he gets close to them, those Minotaur look scared of him and back away. He goes, no, I don't have it. I swear I don't have it. But as soon as the one that you saw shifts, this one, he looks at him, and almost as if triggered, the same thing happens. He feels this intense pain inside of him and roars as he shifts into this grotesque monster. And for those of you who have an ear for particular heartbreak, behind you at the wall, you hear a mother cow trying to tiptoe at the holes in the wall, and she's calling and she says, "Oh, you be brave for Mama, okay? You be brave. It's okay. We'll see each other again." But with all the chaos that's going about, there's just no way that sound is getting through the door. There is something that does come through the door, though. A rather young calf-sounding Minotaur roars just like the two that you heard before. And in this moment, the mother Minotaur, having heard her child suffer from the madness, stops as if something kind of breaks inside of her. Her eyes go white for a moment, and almost as if accepting the madness into her, she too shifts, but she becomes even larger and more determined as to getting to her calf, that she just starts ramming into the door, much to no effect to what you guys have already experienced. So, There are 3 mad minotaurs that are currently near you. One, the confused one at the start, was looking around for an explanation as to what happened, and your group, being the outsiders that are nearest to him, he focuses on you, and it looks like he's ready to rage and charge in. The minotaur that was confused and scared and trying to join the other pods of minotaur that were trying to keep themselves calm is angry, and its anger seems to be shifted on the people of the pasture, so it seems to be headed towards the crowd. And finally, the last minotaur, the mama minotaur, she herself, as I described, is going to be focusing on this door. The very first charge that she rams into it breaks one of her horns, and like part of her, where her horn connects, starts bleeding. She doesn't even seem to feel the pain. She heads back and she starts to get ready for another charge. So let's get some initiative.
Wait.
Okay, this music is
Dun, dun, dun.
so epic, but also so loud.
Holy shit, Peter!
Ready for this.
I don't know what it is. Every
Red
time.
hearts are almost a chain, but
Plus 0. Okay, cool. Plus 0. So I'm going to name them based on who they're focusing on. So this first one's going to be Party Minotaur.
Party?
Party.
Party, as in this one's the one that's focusing on you guys. This one is the crowd Minotaur. So this one is trying to tear into those. And the final one is Mama Minotaur, who is trying to tear through the door that just shut. Okay, we got some initiative. So, Peter, you are first to act.
Okay. One of them is like charging toward us, or just
Yep.
he just has his attention toward us.
So he's not like in mid-charge, but like it's starting to trot its foot, kind of looking in your direction as it's about to charge.
Oh boy. Oh boy, what do we do? Okay. What's the, like, so it's just like a village town, right? And all the other minotaurs seem to be calming? Like,
So yeah, it looks like the other doors that had shut and open, which had separated, had maybe triggered another mad minotaur, like 1 or 2 each at those other spots. But there are also other people who are trying to restrain and stop those ones. So the big trigger, the one that's kind of had the most and the most chaos and the most action, is currently where you guys are at. But those, it looks like this kind of chain effect of triggering the madness within the Minotaur has subsided, and the other Minotaur have been able to kind of keep themselves calm and not shift.
The one that's toward us, I'm going to look at him like straight on and like put my hands up and say, "Calm!" And I'll cast command on him.
Okay.
I'm saving throw.
What is it? What is it? Wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, I think my DC is 13. Yeah, it is.
Wisdom.
Oh, jeez.
This Minotaur is not going to listen to any kind of reason. Or even magical, even. Perhaps it could have, but not in this case.
In that case, I will step out of the way and make sure, I guess, there's no one behind me, or, like, I'll attempt to step out of the way if he charges.
Okay. So the crowd Minotaur is going to go. Oh, sorry, are you done, Peter?
Yeah, that's everything.
Okay, the crowd Minotaur is going to dash and charge into the crowd, and is going to hit 2 people. A rather impressive looking human is going to step up. He's got a cowboy hat, big muscles, leather pants, and he's got both what looks like a spell book holstered on one side and a pistol holstered on the other side. And he goes, "Oh, all right, folks, we've dealt with this before. You get them settled and I'll put them to sleep. All right? Don't kill any of these guys. Wear it down as much as you can, and then we can get them over to the giggle pasture." So, the Mama Minotaur is going to go, so she just straight up takes damage, so she's charging again. Can everyone give me a perception check, please? So the Mama Minotaur, howling with fury. Once again, the Mama Minotaur had a bit of a different transformation than the other two. It was almost as if she accepted it, and by kind of taking it in, she got even bigger and stronger, but not wilder, if you will. She seems to have some sort of determination, obviously, going on that's keeping her at least somewhat coherent or cohesive or whatever. So, okay, Rocket and Iron Job. When the Mama Minotaur charges into the wall, you notice that the Lee lines almost shift out of the way of where she connects, and it does her hit actually does do some damage to the stone, and it also seems to have not retaliated against her as strongly. So when she charged it, a typical axe, you know how it would like bounce off right away. This is not happening to her. She's still colliding into a stone wall, but it's not as impactful as the attempts that you guys were doing when you were first trying to do it. Once she steps back, the Lee lines very, very your high perceptions are kind of the only reason why you see it, will slowly kind of shift back into whatever kind of position they were in. So she's just straight up taking damage for once again ramming just straight into the wall. Okay, Ironjaw, you're next.
All right, I have a bag of ball bearings as part of my rogue gear that I am going to spread all over the floor in front of us, so that when the Minotaur charges at us, as I expect him to, he will hopefully get tripped up.
Okay, cool. Is that everything? I could say that's just like like as part of your move, right? You're just kind of tossing bear bearings down.
Okay, and then I guess I'm standing on the other side. I guess I'm just readying my sword to poke him. I'm not going to try to kill him, but we might need to slow him down.
Something that you are you're all noticing kind of at this point is the two Dragonborn that are flanking this door are not engaging at all. They are just standing stoic. Their eyes are looking at everybody, everything that's kind of getting close to them, but otherwise they are not kind of intervening into what's happening. And that's true with all the Dragonborn situated at each one of the doors. So wherever there's a madness that's currently occurring, it's kind of the people of the pasture that's trying to take care of it, and the Dragonborn are doing squat all. Rocket, you're next.
I would like to cast Firebolt, like where the ley lines should be, like before they merge, or do I have to wait till she charges and then I'll cast right after?
You might need to wait to charge, but it's also incredibly quick. It would be difficult for you to kind of strike in the same moment that she would strike, but you could attempt it if that's what you want to do.
But basically when she hits it, it'd be very quick between them, separating and coming back together.
Yeah, if you want to try that, I'll give it to you. I'll just let you know that that will be a kind of difficult check. As in, Rocket would know that that would be a difficult check. It's so quick in when this happens that she would have to have perfect timing in order to hit it.
I'll give it a shot regardless.
Okay, so you're gonna prep that on her for her next charge?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Gunnar, your go.
Well, crack his neck, kind of like stretch himself out, and then fly into a rage and charge the Minotaur that is attacking the crowd and attempt to grapple it.
All right, so as Gunnar is prepping his rage, so as the kind of internal process are going in order to get this kind of rile himself up, he receives a sending message, a message that he's received quite a few times in the past whenever he's received jobs. As he hears the message, his eyes will dart around to who is sending it to him, but the rage has already started and cannot be stopped. So I'm going to give you the message, but when it ends, essentially you enter your rage, which means you're no longer kind of being able to focus on that message and kind of figure out who might have been the one to give it to you, okay? So in the message you hear, "Hey girl, so there's a huge hit out on your boy Minos, 100k gold, untraceable, yours if you can kill him. We'll set it up for you. You take him out, you get the gold. You'll know when to do it too. Oh, and in case you have a bleeding heart, if you don't do it, we'll put out the offer to the other professionals that are in lab. We've counted at least 22 around. You have until the end of the day." There's something I forgot to mention. When you walked into this pasture, it's currently, the sun's like right overhead, so it's about like midday, like noon, in outside world, wherever you are. But Gunnar, you enter your rage, and you get to continue to do what you need to do.
So it was like I'm assuming I can reach them, so it'll be a grapple check, which is like strength versus.
Yeah,
Whatever.
which one are you grappling again? Sorry, I missed that part.
The one that was attacking the crowd.
Oh, okay, yes. Absolutely, it would be a athletics check, and then it would be countered by their athletics or their acrobatics. I'm gonna pick athletics, and they're gonna have advantage on this.
Oh, well, so.
Oh.
Everyone's angry. So angry.
That did not work.
Check, not skill, it's check, yeah.
Oh. Womp womp.
You have advantage, you
Wait.
said, right? You get another one.
Yeah.
So roll
How come
again.
it didn't? Oh.
I think that is advantage because there's a 2.
Yeah, 2 and a 10.
No, that's
So
my.
Jamie
that's
rolled
the,
with advantage.
That's the crowd.
Oh.
That's the one that he's trying to grapple.
Yeah, so why didn't mine? Weird.
Just roll it
Anyway.
again. Yeah, it's fine.
Sure. Come on!
Check
I hate
athletics.
my life. Come on! Yeah, I'd probably have that.
So, unfortunately, the Minotaur is raging and throwing kind of people around, and as Gunnar chases up to try to get a good grapple, he's hit with a gnome. A gnome gets tossed in his way. Puff! Oh! And like the gnome will run away into the crowd. Okay. So the Minotaur that is focused on you, the confused Minotaur as to what happened and blaming you for what happened, is going to charge in, but there are ball bearings on the floor. So it's going to do a dexterity check to see if it will
Fall over.
Oh, that's Minos' dexterity, which ends up being the same bonus as this guy's dexterity. So, the party Minotaur, the Minotaur that is charging towards the party. Sorry, it's not like ooh, Minotaur. Charges at you, steps on the ball bearing, starts to do that climb, go whoa, 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 and falls on its own back, which will immediately end its turn. So that Minotaur is currently prone. Peter, back up to you.
Okay. I want to approach the prone Minotaur and like pet him and be like, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You can calm down. It'll be okay."
That's cute. Okay, so that's something that I actually wanted to tell you in the start of the second round. I currently have a skill to DC difficulty for any skill that you can think of based on the amount of health left of each Minotaur. So at any point, you guys can try to do a skill check in order to try to calm the Minotaur. You'll have to explain kind of the fluff of it if you're successful or if you fail. But based on kind of how wore down they are, the easier the DC will be. But you could try right now. This guy haven't taken no damage yet, just so you know.
Okay. I see what you're going for then. Then, can I attempt, like, a strength to try to tie him up? While
Yes.
he's prone?
Yeah, sure. No, okay, so because he would be prone, but because he's raging, I was thinking maybe one would be disadvantage and one would be advantage, so I think everything's just going to neutralize itself out, so just a straight up roll, okay?
Strength, I guess?
Strength or athletics. So as you're trying to, okay, I'll actually tell you if you pass or fail, and you can give me the RP of how it works. So that's a fail. You're not successful in tying up the Minotaur with that check.
Welcome to my world.
We
need to hit the gym.
Do you want to just...
I get like, yeah, I go up and I start to tie him up, and I get like flashes of Minos as if I'm tying up Minos. I'm like, no, this isn't right. This is like my friend. I can't tie him up. I'm sorry guys, that was silly. And I just feel really guilty for a second. And I toss the rope on the ground. I'm like, nope, that was stupid. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Minos. Minos, like,
oh my gosh, that's cute. That's cute. Inspiration. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I want to give out inspiration to everything. Okay, the crowd. Oh, sorry, Peter. Is that everything for your turn?
I
say that was an action. So if you had like a bonus or something you want to do, but you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Crowd Minotaur is going. Crowd Minotaur is now focused on Gunnar, who has been trying to dance with it. So it's going to gore you with its horns. Reckless. It's recklessly goring you. Okay. So this Minotaur has advantage on all of its attacks, but any attacks made against it will have disadvantage. You didn't attack it, Gunnar. You didn't recklessly attack, I don't believe. So you
because it was a strength check, you said.
Oh, what does it matter? Because he has advantage on this because of being reckless.
Right. Right.
24 on your AC.
That will hit.
So you're going to take... You're going to take 8 points of piercing damage as the Minotaur's horn digs into your side.
But am I going to take 8 points of piercing damage?
I mean, your
or
body
am I going to take 4 points?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to take 4 points.
Yeah. All right, Rocket, this is your moment. This is your moment to blast the door as the Mama Minotaur is going to be charging at it once more. So give me an attack roll, please, on your spell.
You want me to cast it? Just regular cast then, or?
Yeah, cast it.
Okay. That one.
So, once again, Mama Bull runs into the wall, breaks her other horn. She's already breathing heavy with how much damage she's self-inflicted on herself. And unfortunately, the Lee line movement, which has trying to lessen the impact that this Minotaur is suffering, is still too quick for Rocket, and Rocket's unable to strike it at the same time. So the Lee line kind of shifts back, and as soon as your spell hits, it just fizzles completely, not adding any more damage. That the Mama Minotaur did do. She takes more damage. She is quite worse for wear already. Iron Jaw.
Can I try to get an insight check on the Mama Minotaur? And kind of explain to her it's like your child might be on the other side of the wall, but just because you want to go get to him doesn't mean that it's worth killing yourself for it.
Yeah, I'll allow
I guess it's still a... Yeah.
I'm just... I'll say it to you guys now. Charisma would not work at all. So I instant fail
Yeah.
for charisma checks on these. But I want to allow wisdom and intelligence to still be used, which sometimes works into logic and being able to explain logic. So I'll allow the wisdom of this roll. Go for it.
Okay. Oof. But I have a thing. I think
Oh.
I think it only works if I'm trying to figure out if people are lying or not. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's only okay. Never mind. I don't have a thing.
So you're gonna
Are
fail.
you
You
lying?
wanna?
You really care about your kid.
Yeah, so
No.
I'm gonna be so I'm gonna try to get over, maybe I'd be working my way around to the front of her, and I'm just below where she's looking at on the wall, and she's just running past me as I try to make my argument.
Okay. So something that I'll add into this is that other pasture goers, I guess, tried to join in with you too. So those that were nearby were trying to add to your logic, but again, falling on deaf ears in this case.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do, Ironjaw?
No, that's good.
All right. Rocket, your go.
Okay, so I would like to go to the mama cow, and maybe my knowledge of because I know Minos so well, maybe my knowledge of the history of Minos's people and stuff would let me know kind of how to coax her down when she's when she's raging.
Sure.
Culture,
what are you thinking?
sort of
what are you
their
thinking?
traditions.
Like a nature
I'm thinking
nature check?
I was thinking a history check. Would that make sense?
I'll allow it. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay.
It'll be a success. Do you want to describe kind of how you're approaching it?
Yeah. So I'm going to jump onto her back because I know that Minos has a really nice soft spot behind his ear. So I'll just kind of start rubbing it to kind of coax her down as I whisper in her ear it's okay, big fella. I know that you guys care so much about your children, and it's okay. We love children. Okay, they're gonna be totally fine. I know that you love her so much, so don't worry. We got this. We got you.
Stab her right in the soft spot.
And then I slice her throat.
Something quite
Okay,
familiar. She feels something quite familiar, remembering having kind of given her child kind of these piggyback rides where Rocket is currently landing, and it does kind of soothe her a little bit. She gets smaller in size, but the rage continues, and she shifts now her attention away from the door and towards the other two Minotaur that are currently raging. But she doesn't say anything to you in this moment, okay?
Say honor.
You're saying honor?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to
My
do?
happy place. No, I'm good.
Okay. Gunnar, your go.
Gunnar will wipe some blood from the side of his mouth, and he will try to bear hug the Minotaur that gored him.
Okay.
Another grapple sort of situation.
Okay, another grapple. Those guys recklessly both have advantage on these.
Yeah. Let's see if I can actually type the right command. Place your bets.
20.
Uh-oh. But it's athletics, you said?
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh. Did not do advantage, but that's okay. With Gunnar's incredible
Try my
strength.
Athletics. What? Why minus advantage?
It's a
that.
flag, and
No,
needs to
I'll
be
take the
treated as
first
such.
roll.
Yeah, the first one, that's good. Okay,
Yes.
you'll be successful in pinning it right now. Do you want to describe the struggle and then the eventual success?
Gunnar will feint, and when the Minotaur tries to counter in that direction, raising its arms, he will encircle it around the waist, haul it into the air, and squeeze with all his might until the air gushes out of the Minotaur's lungs and it collapses limply against his body. And then he will lower it to the ground without releasing his grip.
Okay, when you lower it to the ground, those that were nearby will instantly come and start to tie up the Minotaur in a very kind of expert way. You can tell that they've all done this before. They're all doing it in the same manner, and it's quite an effective knot. That looks like it'll be painless for the Minotaur, but still secure enough that he won't be able to get out from it. Okay, Party Minotaur gets back up.
That is how you tame a mad kill. Not with talking, or singing, or petting.
Gunnar shouts angrily in his rage at all of you.
He has a point.
So, the Party Minotaur is going to stand back up. I guess the ball bearings are still around. No, I'll say they would have been scattered for kind of one effect. Peter didn't have to do any kind of roll to get near. So the Minotaur is going to stand up and look at Peter and do a gore attack on him.
You know what to do, Peter.
680B. 25 on AC. Wow.
That hits.
I assume Peter is in no way close to Gunnar at this time.
Correct. In no way.
Worth a shot.
You take 17 points of piercing damage as the Minotaur does not seem to have really registered what you were trying to do and instead sees you as a threat. And as it stands back up and raises its head, it gets you real good with its horn and launches you up in the air and you fall back, kind of taking some more damage. Peter, your go.
What? Can we hire this Minotaur to replace Minos?
Yes, that's what we need. Another barbarian.
Yes!
Okay, well, Peter Post is pretty good at taking training and constructive criticism, so he looks at Gunnar and says, okay, like this, and I'll try to do a strength.
I thought you said you were good at taking
so
training.
you don't have advantage, just so you know, on your athletics. Gunnar did because of like the rules and the raging and stuff, but yeah, so you can roll your athletics.
Oh, those rules.
But the Minotaur will have advantage on this.
That's fine.
Oh,
And
fuck.
unfortunately, you were unsuccessful. For a minute, Peter was like, actually, no, Peter, I'll let you describe the struggle and then the failure.
Okay, well, I mean, I was just hurled in the ground, so I'm a little disoriented. And I feel like my grasp just kind of like catches wind. And yeah, I'm a little unbalanced. Like this, Gunnar!
That is exactly how not to do that. Everyone look at that as I point, and shame.
Shame. So the crowd Minotaur's out. Mama Minotaur is charging the Party Minotaur in this moment. What is charge? I don't think I charged yet, actually.
I want to get off.
Actually, can you give me a dexterity saving throw to see if you manage
not that dangerous
to
to-
ride the bull? You don't.
Whoa.
You fall, so you're going to take some fall damage.
No animal handling?
I do have animal handling.
You take 4 points of fall damage.
Ugh, rude.
So
17 horn damage.
We're not comparing here. We're not comparing, guys. Come on.
I guess 4 to a gnome and 17 to a
charge. If
paladin
a
is
Minotaur
probably
moves at least 10
It's all
feet
relative.
towards a
It's all
target,
relative.
then makes a gore attack on the same turn, then there's an extra
So I'm down. No.
four damage.
Yes, on the floor.
So she's charging 16. She hits, and because she charged, she does incredible damage. So she's channeling all of her rage that she feels towards losing her child into this moment in taking down kind of another threat. And she does
The door?
incredible damage. No, she's charging the.
What?
She's charging because of Rocket. She's charging the party Minotaur, the one that just gored Peter. So she connected.
Other-
Let me just get all this damage. Sorry.
Internecine conflict here.
See, I tried to tell her that her kid was probably fine, but she didn't want to listen.
I don't know how she's blaming this other Minotaur for what happened to her kid. Maybe she watched her kid a little closer.
Something that Rocket had said.
God damn it,
Plus
Rocket.
You is kind. You is smart.
So she does
You is
25
important.
damage to that Minotaur, which instantly has it like gasping for breath and holding itself. It looks like she did a very good chunk on this guy.
What a wuss.
Plus 20. And because she charged, the Minotaur needs to give a strength check, otherwise it will be pinned. It is not pinned. So, in the moment that Rocket latches onto her back and reminds her of something, she shifts her anger away from hurting herself and charging at the door, which has been proving quite ineffectual recently, and instead it focuses on the remaining threat to the other Minotaur and the other calf that are currently in the pasture. She turns, charges, connects with, I guess that's why the pin didn't work. She doesn't have any horns left. But still her monstrosity is able to do some massive damage and really wear down this Minotaur.
Wait, which Minotaur was she attacking? Because I pinned the party one. Or no, I pinned the...
You pinned the
one that was
crowd
attacking
one.
her.
The crowd one's out. The party one
Right.
tripped and attacked
So
Peter, and that's who she's now charging, is that one. The one that just gored Peter.
Okay, for some reason I thought she was charging the one that was threatening a mother and its calf or something.
No, there isn't any more threats to mothers and calves currally.
Okay.
She's
okay.
just...
So she wasn't, like, protecting. Okay.
Maybe internally she was. Peter, your go. Oh, no,
When I was
sorry.
half dead, you can probably kick his ass.
Jaw, it's your go.
Yeah.
I lost track of the Minotaur.
Grass!
So yeah, like how like badly injured is this guy? Can I like?
He's
See, I have
popping
a
up.
sleight of hand,
Mm.
and the adrenal glands are just above the kidneys.
Yeah, you probably reached right in there.
Well, I mean, his skin has been ripped all over, revealing muscle and gushing blood out. So if you wanted to reach into its body, you probably could.
Oh, the sepsis.
I don't think I
Oh,
know-
the sepsis.
Yeah, I don't think I know where I would be finding any particular organs on a
Yeah,
man.
Medicine
well, it's
check.
actually like a mix of an intelligence and dexterity. Probably a dexterity medicine check is what I would call for.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Medicine
See,
would have to be in
honestly,
there somewhere.
I think that's better than most of my other choices. Maybe just try to find like a nerve I can pinch and just like knock him out.
Okay, is that what you want to do? Do dexterity medicine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
know if you're
I
trained
don't,
in
I
medicine
don't
or
want
whatever,
to
but-
stab him. I'm not trained in medicine, but you know, you got to learn sometime. So
This is the perfect opportunity.
it is. I have no particular attachment to this Minotaur. I got a 7.
And you still don't.
So I'm just gonna come back out with like my hands covered in blood, and be like, I didn't find anything, anyone. I tried.
Now watch!
The Minotaur will take more damage from that, though. I'd say.
From rummaging around in its body cavity with your unsterilized, grubby hands.
I tried to turn him off.
This Minotaur is close to death. And if you were to do damage, so typically when you do damage to something and you bring it down to 0 hit points, you get to choose whether you're knocking it out or you're killing it. In this instance, if you are bringing the Minotaur down to 0, it will die. Rocket, it's your turn.
So the mama and the party one is still laid together.
They're going at it right now.
And then,
Finding
so
their relationship right now.
whose body cavity was Iron Josh shoving his hand into?
The party Minotaur, not the mama one.
That doesn't sound productive.
I wasn't.
You wanted him to shove it in the mama instead? Was that better?
Probably nobody.
Look, I'm just saying.
That was never going to be an
Preferably
option.
A Warforged would have an off
nobody.
switch somewhere. You
I want to do the
beat
same
me.
thing. I wanted to go tumble on the ground and then run back up to her and jump on her again and try to whisper some sweet nothings into her ear to calm her down more.
Okay, this time we're gonna go with the animal handling roll.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, in the moment, you can describe it. So in the end of what you're going to do, she is going to relent this anger. She's going to get back down to kind of her smaller size, and then she's going to pass out from exhaustion. So do you want to describe what you do and how it leads to that?
Yeah, so when Rocket gets thrown off of her, she's gonna kind of hit the grass and tumble and grab some grass with her. And then she's gonna walk over to the mom and kind of offer her some grass to distract her from the other Minotaur, and just be "All right, here's a little bit of food. We all get a little bit hangry. It's totally understandable." And then try and poke her away to calm her down. And then once she eats some of the grass, kind of like the Snickers commercials, she'll just calm down and
Snickers.
I'm
You
being
want
yourself
yourself when you're hungry.
Exactly.
Having
Exactly what's
kind of
happening.
realized, having been brought the realization from Rocket of where she is, how much she's hurt, what damage she is still causing, and the little snack break. Like I said, she calms and then she just passes out. She just falls to the grass. There's still one Minotaur that remains, and it is the party Minotaur that is bleeding profusely, has taken quite a hit from the Mama Minotaur. Gunnar, it's your go.
We'll stride over to the remaining Minotaur. He's not prone, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay. And he will try to put him in a headlock from behind to choke him out.
Okay, so this is going to be the strength battle again?
Yeah, like a strength grapple sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So both, again, advantage. Battle of strengths here.
Hey.
And so just like before, Gunnar is able to completely bring the Minotaur into submission. And like the others, it will pass out. And soon the other pasture goers will have it tied up with the other two, the Mama Minotaur and the other one. And in that moment, the chaos kind of around the pasture. So the other mad Minotaur that been triggered around the edges at the other kind of corners. Everything kind of finally kind of comes down to a bit more of a restful state. So people are still agitated, but the immediate danger is now gone. The cowboy will walk up to you and goes, well, howdy. It is mighty lucky that you guys showed up when you did.
Is it? We just had the door slam shut in our face. What's going on around here?
Yeah, well, that here is called a shifting. Usually around once a month, all the doors in lab shift with no rhyme or reason to it. But that just happened a couple weeks ago, so it's a bit early. None of the Minotaur were expecting another shifting to happen so soon. And unfortunately, the madness that's a threat or is a rage that is within all Minotaur this is when they become more prone to developing it. But thanks to you, we were able to subdue them, and now we can get them to the Gigglegrass pasture to make sure we can keep them nice and calm until we find a cure for the madness.
How do you know all this?
Well, I'm glad you asked, little lady. I recently came to lab a couple months ago, and I've been studying this place. I got here kind of accidentally, and now I'm stuck. I went to see Her Royal Moonness, and I was able to have a quick chat, but ever since I've been trying to get back to talk to her, but I haven't been able to get an appointment.
Maybe you've seen our friend?
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's about, like 7 feet tall, looks like a minotaur, has some horns. I don't know if you've seen him around.
The guy kind of looks around. Unfortunately, and I don't want this to sound a little unintelligent on my part, but most of these minotaur look the same to me. I wouldn't be able to differentiate one from another.
Oh my goodness! What they say about cowboys is apparently true. Wow. Wow.
Well, here, my name's Aster, and I'd love to know what brought you all to lab.
And I would love to be paid for service we just provide.
Well,
Aster.
The Minotaur don't really deal in gold, though. But
good, because you are not Minotaur.
Yeah, well, I suppose if you wanted a reward, the only one that's got wealth around here is Her Royal Moonness. I can bring you to see her. She's the next pasture over.
And you cannot even get appointment with her yourself. How you bring us?
Well, I can get there, and I can get to Her Royal Moonness's pasture, but she's got a sniveling little cretin who always prevents me from getting to see her.
You allow sniveling cretin to stop you. You embarrass yourself. Take us to pasture.
Aster looks around to the Dragonborn and goes, well, the sniveling little cretin isn't really the problem when it gets to meeting Her Royal Moonness.
I am bigger than any problem we could possibly face. Take us to Moonness now.
We do have a lot of experience talking to people we're not supposed to be talking to.
And killing.
Well, that's great. Maybe I can get to talk to her again. I'd love to get out of here, or at least get some answers as to what's been going on. Well, it's a couple
for a
hours
small
journey,
fee, we will let you
so,
talk to her as well.
Well, that's fantastic. And, you there, what's your name? He points to Rocket.
My name's Rocket. Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you as well. You got some nifty gadgets going on. He'll take your hand
That's
and
a
kiss
pleasure.
it. Yeah, he'll take it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, you mean these old things? What, you can appreciate a little bit of some invention engineering around here?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I was going to the Mage College, was actually to learn some of these mechanisms that I could use on my dad's farm. So I'd love to hear more of what you've got. He shows you his pistol, and it looks like it's kind of a very tricky-looking mechanical piece of work as well. I found this not too long ago down here in labs, and I'd love to learn how to use it, but maybe if we can help each other out, it might be better in your hands than in mine.
Are you having seeming, or is that a pistol in your holster?
Gold and gilded, too. It looks definitely fancy, and even from where you are standing when he's kind of presenting it to you, you can tell it's magical. Absolutely.
I'm very intrigued. Yeah, I would love to help you out if you can help me out later, too. I'd love to take it off your hands.
Well, you all
What
seem
are the
like good
Minotaurs
folk.
doing with a firearm? He said he found it here.
Is that what you're saying out loud?
Yeah, absolutely. Where did
I
you
was
find it
actually
in this
kind
pasture?
of poking my nose where it didn't. So he kind of looks around and he brings you more to the center of the pasture, away from the Dragonborn that are on the edges. He goes, I was poking my nose where it doesn't belong around Her Royal Moonness's buildings, and she's got some pretty interesting things around there, though I don't think she'll miss this one.
Oh man, he's a thief.
He's acquired items no one is using.
Thief of my heart.
Well, the journey to our Royal Moonness' pasture is a couple hours, so why don't we get started and you can keep asking me questions along the way of what you want to know and what I can answer. And perhaps you can answer a couple of my questions as well. Anything else that you guys would like to do in the pasture before we were to move on?
Yeah, I'm abandoning my ball bearings. I'm not picking those all back up.
1, 2.
It's a bag of 1,000. They're staying there.
3.
Wow, that's called littering iron job.
It is, yes.
Maybe they're biodegradable.
They're iron.
Does it say they're iron, or are you assuming they're iron?
I am assuming they're iron because I
Maybe
bought
they're
them,
little
and
acorns.
they're mine from.
No. They're safe and iron. That's correct. Iron.
Okay, so we'll continue on. So when you head out of one of the doorways of the pasture, you start to head back down into the tunnels of lab. And it's this very similar style of what you had just kind of come from. 20 by 20 foot, straight edge, kind of square hallways that eventually have junctures that you can go different ways. There are more signs that that tell you which way Her Royal Moonness's pasture is. No more shifting seems to be happening anymore while you're walking, so it seems like things have finally settled in terms of the shaking ground. But there are still countless other passages, tiny little passages, so 10 feet wide doorways lead into tunnels that turn and twist every which way. And so Aster is currently guiding you towards Her Royal Moonness's pasture. So if you have any other questions for him, this would be the time to kind of bring it up.
Does
We already
anyone-
spoke how long he was in lab for. I may have missed it, but I just want clarification.
Well, you see, I was trying to learn from my master's spell book, and he kind of taps on a very elaborate looking spell book that's in the other holster on the other side. And when I was trying to get some more information, I stumbled on his cellar, which led down into lab. Well, curiosity got the best of me, like a sheep wandering in the woods by itself, and sure enough, I got caught. So I immediately went to the pasture, and they told me that all new non-Minotaur that enter here have to go see Her Royal Moonness. Well, I did. I didn't really know what to ask at the time. It was just so early, and so I got my one meeting, got nothing out of her. And then I've been walking around aimlessly trying to find a way out. I've been talking to the Minotaur, but they don't have any reason to leave, and they don't know how. Other folk like you and me, well, they don't seem to have any answers either.
So I guess no one has a map of this place.
Well, I'm trying to draw one out. So he pulls out kind of the area of mainly the only thing that he's been able to map out is the queen, the Her Royal Moonness's pasture, and this one that you just came from. So he's got like a couple tunnels and a couple ways of leading those two, but that's the amount of time I've had, and with all the shifting, and look at this god rock. It just melds, and its corners are curved. It's hard to get your bearings.
God rock.
And did the other Minotaur don't know how to leave?
None of them have been able to give me any solid answers, but none of them have really wanted to leave. They live here, so he'll point to one of like the small 10-foot doorways that leads deeper away from you. This is where most of their living quarters are. Their water wells, their artificial farms with magic. They've got some forges in there too, but all cows can't resist the allure of the pasture and getting some fresh air and some sunshine. So they head there usually once a day, at least to get their fill. That seems to happen. That seems to be when most of them will get split up from their herds, and when most of them will get triggered by the madness.
Do they know that they can live places where the walls don't consciously shift and trigger psychotic episodes?
They love hearing tales of the outside world. Trust me, you can tell them anything. They love to hear it. They're the kindest folk that I've ever met, but yeah, none of them have ever expressed any interest in going out and exploring or becoming an adventurer.
But Minos left.
What do you mean, Minos left?
Well,
Person that we're looking for.
this is where he is from. And he left.
Oh, you mean... Oh, that doesn't seem right. Whenabouts did he leave, do you know?
No.
Well,
It's more of a casual acquaintance.
Can I do an insight check to see if I would remember Minos telling us when he left?
Sure. Well, that's fascinating information. I'd love to meet this Minos of yours. What do you guys do to make sure that the madness doesn't trigger in him?
He's too stupid to be angry at anything.
Well,
Yeah, it hasn't been a problem.
That one Minotaur couldn't really form what feelings he was feeling when he felt a shit. It doesn't seem to matter the intelligence of the Minotaur. If the one that you love gets separated from you, then you're gonna feel the madness.
Ugh. He has never been angry. Just dumb.
Well, I like
but
to meet
he is
this
probably
guy.
dead now anyway, so it is moot point.
Well, it's very sad to hear, but let's continue on then.
Aster, can you tell us what the Dragonborn are doing here again?
Well, that's fascinating as well. I've tried to get a word or a peep out of them, and none of them will talk to me. Seems that they're Her Royal Moonness's personal guard, but the more Elder Minotaur say that they've arrived rather not too long ago. They haven't always been here. Neither has Her Royal Moonness.
Why would she not trust her own people to protect her?
Maybe
well, she's quite a character.
Monsters?
Once you meet her, I'm sure you'll know why.
Who ruled them before she arrived?
Well, I tried to get that answer as well, and no one seems to remember. If I could just get to her and ask her. Well, whether you're accepting it or not, she's actually not really doing anything for the Minotaur folk. They're living the way they're supposed to, or the way that they always have. But she seems to have some sort of interest in trying to lead them, but can you really lead a herd of cattle?
Yes, very easily. When one starts moving, all of them follow. This is nature of herd.
Did you grow up on a farm?
Cats are very difficult to lead, for example. They go different directions.
Yeah, and so do Minotaur. Cattle are much easier. You take one of the little ones and the rest will follow.
Yes.
They are like cattle, but they seem to have a short attention span, too.
That sounds about right.
Well, quick, before the God Rock shifts again, let's make it to the Her Royal Moonness's pasture. So,
God Rock is impervious to damage.
Oh, yeah. Well, I studied it in school, but it was always myth. God Rock, it said that it's impossible to break, but if it's impossible to break, then how do you mine it? And if it's impossible to break and mine, then how do you craft it? And especially,
magic.
He looks around to the tunnels, says, well, the Minotaurs say that the God Rock has always been here. They say it's Mother Earth's roots itself, made to protect God's children.
Yes, Minotaur are dumb. You can use magic to shape stone. It's a very easy spell.
Yeah, you probably can, but strong level wizards never seem to make it down into lab. I'm just an apprentice. I barely know any kind of spells.
I have yet to meet a strong level wizard anywhere.
Yeah, well, perhaps the wizard would be able to shift this, but it'd have to be pretty strong. And
Yeah, they die very, very fast.
Amazingly fast. One dinosaur.
so you are walking up a very similar incline and heading towards another kind of 30-foot opening into another pasture, this one being much larger than the last one that you got. And the day has continued on. Perhaps you've been traveling east. Perhaps you're in a different part of the world. But even though you only walked a couple hours, this pasture is currently in twilight. The sun is setting. And
Wait, can we see actual sun? Like it's
you
not
see
a
sunlight
cave with a roof on it?
So no, there's no roof, so it's open up to the sky, the enclosures. But so in the previous pasture when it was midday, you saw the sun. It was right above you, cloudless sky, beautiful day. Now you can't see the sun because I guess it's past one of the wall's edges, but you're still seeing the twilight in the
Light,
sky
or-
and yeah, the light in the pasture. It's got like this orange hue.
How high are the walls?
The walls are 70 feet tall. In the pasture, so this pasture is much bigger. It's at least double the size of the last pasture you saw. Right in the center of the pasture, there is a building that's been crafted out of god rock. It is half a sphere, I guess. It's round, and the top part of it is made of glass. The only thing that you've seen so far that might be breakable. There are two other buildings that have been made of rock, god rock. They are two kind of cubes that sit on either side of the big station right in the middle. There are pathways in this pasture with the grasslands, and there are also very many Minotaur that are also part of this pasture that are doing very similar activities to what the other Minotaur were doing in the previous pasture. So lazing about, eating grass, enjoying the outdoors. Very many others are pilgriming, I guess, over to Her Royal Mooness's pasture and are forming this kind of designated line outside of the main building. And Aster will say, well, see, every time there's a shifting, then some of the Minotaur get separated from their herd, and they think that they can plead to Her Royal Mooness to help them reunite with them, but she never has any time for them. And that thing, so he points at a kobold that's sitting at a desk outside where the line is kind of where the line ends in terms of the front of the line, and this sickly looking kobold is shooing away anybody that kind of comes nearby. And whatever reason, there's just always some reason why Her Royal Mooness can't see the Minotaur. But they'll be really interested in knowing that you guys are new, because everyone who's new to the lab has to meet Her Royal Mooness.
Excellent. Then we will head to front of line.
And you do. Sorry, is there anything else that you guys want to do before you head to the front of the line?
Nope.
No, we're good.
Nope.
Okay, so when you get to the front of the line, so you get a closer look at this kobold. It is pale. It looks like its scales are kind of chipping off. There's like a slime on its skin. To either side of the kobold, there are two more dragonborn that are carrying tridents. You get the last kind of explanation, or the last reason to the most recent Minotaur that's trying to plead to see Her Royal Mooness.
You disgusting little creatures. You're never going to see the queen again. She's just much too busy for you. Now get out of here and tell all the others that you're never, ever going to see Her Royal Moonness during a shifting. So stop wasting our time.
The Minotaur kind
To
of has
kill
a
annoying
defeated...
little kobold.
The Minotaur has like a defeated sigh and walks back, and the next Minotaur, having heard this, still has hope in being able to see. But you guys interrupt, and the kobold sits up and is finally excited to see somebody other than Minotaur.
Oh, yes, some more people that are new to lab. I don't know who any of you are. What brings you here?
We'd like to leave, please.
Oh
I
yes,
killed
well, her
kobolds before we
royal
leave.
Her royal moonness will be quite interested in helping you leave, I'm sure.
the kobold will look at Aster and he goes,
No, you've already seen her. You're not going to see her again. She's too busy for you.
Aster goes, yeah.
He's with us. He goes where we go.
No,
this a
that's
problem?
not the rule. You must follow the laws
is-
and the edicts that we've created, and he's not allowed to see her again.
He starts to get
It is my
riled up.
rule,
And who are you?
and you must follow my rule.
When you do this vague threat towards him, instantly 2 more Dragonborn guards will show up. So now there are 6 Dragonborn guards around the kobold.
I like
So
yours.
at first, when you first said it, the kobold actually kind of slinks back and looks a little nervous, looks to the others that are nearby and kind of calls those Dragonborn forward. Once they arrive, he kind of looks all mighty once again.
Ah, yes, her royal moonish's guard are nothing to be trifled with. They'll skewer you if you even so lay a finger on me. Now, you 4...
That is not the question you must ask yourself. The question you must ask yourself is, will they skewer me before I chop off each one of your limbs?
He's very quick.
He takes a step back and 2 Dragonborn step in front of him. So once again, he looks scared at what Gunnar said. But once he's kind of surrounded, he goes,
Yes, I'm pretty confident that you won't be quick enough. Now, as I said...
Shall we find out? Gunnar will unsheath his axe.
Aster will step in the middle. He goes, No, it's all right. I'll wait for you guys out here. Besides, I doubt she'd really be willing to answer what questions I have anyway. But hopefully she'll help you find your Minotaur. I'll wait out here like I said. Oh, and Rocket, when he looks at you, Rocket, everybody will look at him. He won't do anything. And then the kobold will kind of pick back up. However, Rocket, you did see a little cue. When you were looking down at his hand, he pointed down. He pointed to the floor. And that's all you saw. And he's like,
That's some thief sign bullshit.
all right, I'll wait for you out here then.
Good, finally, let's go see her royal moonness. Get rid of the rest of these cows.
So one of the Dragonborn will go and start to like poke at the cows, and they'll all like start to mill and start to plea, like shout their pleas and the names of those that they are trying to reunite with, but it doesn't matter. So the kobold will lead you all inside to this grand building that's made of godrock, except for the opening, which is a kind of wooden door that seems to have been fabricated to fit whatever natural opening would have kind of already been created. When you open the door, when Sin opens the door, he immediately announces to her royal moonness that there are newcomers to lab. You step into a grand circular shape room, and immediately you notice that there are 6 pedestals that have been raised up high, and they're quite equivalently distanced to one another. But 5 of them have been covered up with like blankets and sheets and whatever. And then the one that's kind of directly ahead of you has a throne that has been brought and placed on it. So while the rest of these pillars, these half pillars that raise up, are made of godrock, the throne itself, that's on the only one that's not covered up, is made of whatever, felt materials, wood, kind of stuff like that. Definitely not God Rock. Looking up, you see the dome of the glass that is allowing in all of the natural light from the outside into here. So currently it's twilight, and this kind of strange hue is bouncing off all the different walls. In this chamber, spaced out quite equivalently all around, are very many colored Dragonborn guards with their tridents. So all having various colors of scale. They all stand at the ready as the rest of you come in. On the throne, you see the most opulent and large and beautiful Minotaur that's twice as large as any of the other Minotaur. She's got typical cow print, brown cow stunning. She is fat. She is quite rotund, and she's lounging on her throne, which you now realize is more of like a chaise lounge. And it takes kind of most of her energy to roll over, and she goes, "Tut tut! Oh, who are the new guests who come to visit our royal moonness? Tut tut!" And so Sin comes, and you all step inside, and you're brought before the magnificent royal moonness. And she looks quite excited and happy to see you. Amongst the Dragonborn and the guards, the Dragonborn guards, Sin the Kobold, her royal moonness that's up on the throne. There are also a couple Minotaur that are in the chamber as well, but they seem to have more of a upkeep caretaker role. So there are plants kind of in boxes, planters boxes that are around. So a couple of the Minotaur guarding that. Others are sweeping. Some just trying to look busy, but all of them look kind of nervous to be in the chamber, if you will. Well, come in. Welcome to Lab. It's, I'm quite enchanté to have met you all. I am her royal moonness, and what brings you here? What can I help you with?
We got lost in the tunnels, and we were hoping you could show us the way out.
Oh, well, I don't have control of the shifting, but perhaps I can send a guard to help you on your way out. How did you stumble upon Lab, if I may know such delicate information from you?
We were adventuring through a series of caves behind a glacier, and ended up here after a large kind of earthquake thing, I guess, one of the shiftings.
Ah, what a happy circumstance for all of us then. You look like you're quite well armed, and you've got some good strength about you. Do you be adventurers?
We are.
Well, that's fantastic. And you there, what's your name? He points to Peter.
Oh, I'm Peter Post. I'm a mailman. It's very complicated, this area. I don't know how easy it's going to be to track and establish any kind of service here. How do you manage this?
Oh, well, being her royal moonness does have some perks, but I can't tell you that. But I do know that those who do me a favor, well, then I owe them a favor as well. Rocket, Gunnar, anything you want to do right now? Peter as well. All I did was ask. Everybody, I guess, out of character, what would you like to do for your character?
I'd like to ask her, yes, your royal moonness, and I'll get down on one knee and be like, we misplaced one of our friends, Minos. I'm not sure if you know of him.
Oh, did you say Minos? Well, then that's interesting now, isn't it? Well, We keep all Minos in the Minos pen for a reason. Perhaps you finally have the Minos. Underling. And Sin will step up in his kind of grotesque kind of statue. He goes, yes, my moon, yes, what would you like? Just bring the lot of them to the Minos pen and see if the one that they're looking for is there. And if he is, see if it is the Minos. If it is not the Minos, then yes, absolutely, I will grant his exit for a small fee. But if it is the Minos that we're looking for, then you must come back and we'll make a deal. I'm quite excited.
Or
Sorry?
what's the Minos that you're looking for?
Well, you see, there's someone very important looking for a very specific Minos and is offering a lot and lot of gold for it. And so the only logical thing to do was to capture all the Minoses in lab and bring them here so that we can see if it's the one that we needed. But the task has been quite daunting. I mean, she calls out to the rest of the chamber and she goes, "How many of you cows know a Minos?" And all of them will kind of raise their hand. And one of them will be, Oh, did you say Minos? Because I have a cousin named Minos that's gone missing, and it just, there's a chance that maybe he's in the Minos pen. It's a pretty good. And she'll instantly cut him off, and she goes, "No, Darien, you'd ask each time, and I'm finally sick of it. We're not going to find your Minos, so stop asking." And Darian's going to start to hyperventilate, and he goes, "Well, if you just looked, and she goes, "Oh, well, are you going to suffer from the madness now, Darian? I'd love to see it. You're a disgusting cow and nobody loves you." All of the Dragonborn are going to turn their tridents towards Darian, and the other Minotaur that are in the room will instantly run to one another. They'll lock their arms and they'll start giving their affirmations to one another. And Darian starts to hyperventilate. He goes, "Oh, no, I'm calm. I don't have the madness." And then she will start to egg him on again. She goes, "Are you sure you're missing your Minos? Perhaps he's dead. You'll never see him again. Come on, show me the madness."
Yeah, I know, right?
As soon as she does, I'm like, "You're fine. What are you saying? Relax. You're good."
Okay, so you interrupted kind of at the right moment. Peter, when you go and try to when you cut off the queen, she instantly will sneer in your direction. But Darian will feel quite relaxed in the moment, and that hyperventilating will stop. He goes, "Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to outburst like that." Useless.
So while all that was
Minotaur.
happening, can I sneak over to one of these pillars and see if I can twitch aside one of the covers?
Okay, in your sneaking, you can tell that it almost is as if there are two Dragonborn that have been assigned to each of you, and their eyes are on you, kind of in your movement the whole time. But if you start heading towards the kind of half pillar, they're not intervening or stopping you or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll try to sleight of hand. I want to see if I can peek under without it being super obvious.
Okay, do it.
That's what I'm doing.
Rocket, anything you like to do in the scene?
I don't like when you ask me things. Can I look around the throne a little bit and see what's around it?
Sure. So looking around and also kind of remembering Aster's advice to look down, you look down and you give me a Constitution saving throw, please. I'll explain in a second.
Ooh.
Oh no.
So you look down and you get this dizzying sight as the floor is something that is almost mesmerizing to you. Everybody else seems to have naturally looked away from it because there's some sort of thing about the floor that makes you feel sick. But you yourself, you look down and you do feel sick. So you lose half of your hit die. So, in a short rest, you can spend hit die to recover. Because of this feeling of vertigo, by looking down and staring down at the floor, you get this this sickness, and but you do fight through it. And you notice that the floor that you're on is actually a thick glass pane, and beneath it is a maze-like design. But the different lines are sometimes connected, and sometimes they disconnect. So let me just show you. This is kind of part of what the floor design is, and then the rest of the floor design would be kind of like the surrounding area. So right in the center of this floor is where that kind of star-shaped center is. And then the rest of the maze-like design continues to fill up the rest of the floor. Iron Jaw, you were able to take a quick peek beneath, and on the pillar, it seems like there are plans. There are notes written in chalk. It seems to have shifting schedules and a plan as to which pastors to shift and when. But you have to do a very quick look. You kind of put it down, and then you don't kind of seem to think that anybody noticed you, except the Dragonborn. The Dragonborn have noticed you, give you a wry smile, and then don't say anything. Okay, well, the Minotaur here are useless. So, Sin, please take them to the Minos pen, and if it's their Minos, then please bring them back, and we can make ourselves a deal.
I don't even know what the Minos pen you're looking is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
The one who has offered the payment will know who's the right Minos that they're looking for. You'll see very shortly. Okay? Sin, take them out. So Sin's gonna go and is going to...
Yes, follow me. Let's make this quick. The Minos pen is smelly.
And he's going to call over 4 of the Dragonborn guards, and then we'll look at Gunnar, and we'll call 4 more of the Dragonborn guards. So there are 8 Dragonborn guards that are going to escort you to the Minos pen, which is one of the... So Sin will lead you out of Her Royal Mooness's chambers, and will lead you to one of the cubes, one of the God Rock cubes that is erected on one of the sides. So we'll say the left side. And Aster will see you guys, but see that you're kind of on something. We'll kind of like do like a wave, like I'll be here kind of thing. But you're all led, including the Dragonborn, are led to this cube. And when you are brought to the main door and open it again, this door has been crafted out of wood to fit the natural opening of the God Rock. So without this door, there would have just been like a clear opening, if you will. When you go into the Minos pen, you walk in, there's a chamber. It's very basic God Rock. It looks like it's some like desks and official paperwork kind of areas have been set up in this kind of administration room. The next room over, a clear opening with the God Rock again. So the internal walls are all God Rock. And when you walk through to the next room, there is it's a large square chamber with some God Rock kind of pews that have been set up. But makeshift bars have been placed between you and the inside of this chamber. So the bars are not God Rock. They have also been kind of brought in and installed to what make a kind of makeshift cell. And there are tons, or it's not tons, but there's at least 24 Minotaur that are in this room that are all kind of talking to each other. And your ears pick up a very familiar voice going, Oh, yeah, and that's B. Sometimes she can be kind of scary, but overall, she's actually kind of good. Oh, okay, let me tell you about Oliver next. And then he sees you, and it's Minos, and he's so excited. He goes, "Oh my goodness, you guys made it! Oh, I'm so excited!" Everyone.
They have no idea who you are. You have clearly mistaken us for someone else.
No, Gunnar, it's me. I'm Minos. The
You are not the
kobold-
Minos I know.
Everyone else, did you forget about me too?
It is a shame we cannot find our Minos here.
It seems you're mistaken. Maybe you know some other people that look like us. We
No, I
are looking for
don't.
some other Minotaur that we know.
I don't know anybody.
You'll have to stay here while we continue our search for our actual friend Minos. It is safer for you here probably anyway.
Rocket?
This does seem like a safe place. You'll probably be fine here.
Rocket?
Whoever you are, Minotaur.
You remember me, don't you, Rocket?
I'm sorry, but I think you got me mixed up with someone else.
Okay, can everybody roll a bluff check, please?
A bluff check?
Yeah.
Go
Or
for
it's like deception or whatever.
Deception,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
I think 4E is bluff.
I have rolled a 1.
Damn it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter what I roll now. Check. What we decided deception?
Yeah,
Yep.
deception.
Yeah, Gunnar's not much better.
So Sin is not buying anything. For a moment with Rocket, he was like, okay, yeah, definitely that one doesn't know what's going on here. But the rest of you,
Gosh, nice try, but everyone who comes looking for their Minos tries the same thing. So, this is the one. All right, everybody line up.
First thing that happens is Minos will be kind of confused as to what's going on and what you guys were saying. He goes, "Whoa, hey everyone, this is my friends, but I think something happened to them." All of them in sync will say, "Oh, hi, I'm Minos." Can everyone give me
No,
a
I'm Minos.
Can everyone give me a perception check?
No, I'm the real Minos.
Oh, there, sure.
Gunnar comes through!
Gunnar and Ironjaw, when the lot of the Minotaur say, "Hi, I'm Minos," your keen ears have actually heard one of them say, "Hi, I'm Minos." The kobold will order the Minotaur to line up against the wall, and he says, "You," and he points to Minos. He says, "You stand over there." Okay. The Dragonborn will go to one of the side rooms and pull out a very elaborate looking urn, and will place the urn right in front of the bars. Soon, the cap on the urn will start to shake as this darkness starts to roil out of it, and the cap will start to raise up as a shadowy kind of substance is raising it out. Within the darkness of the shadows, there are 3 balls of light that emerge. There's a yellow, blue, and red light that all 3 of them kind of pop out. In this moment, each of you can tell that Minos recognizes it and is quite nervous. The circles of light will start to spin very quickly, and eventually, by melding together, will release a kind of greenish color. And then the shadows will all kind of dissipate back into the urn. Sin will look exceptionally happy.
He goes, yes, it's the Minos, yes.
One of the Dragonborn will come over to Sin's ear and will whisper something in it. He goes,
Yes, good idea. He's a bit of a loose cannon.
"All right, you," and he points to Minos, "come forward." Minos will step forward very hesitantly and nervously, looking at all of you for some sign of comfort. The bars will open, and one of the Dragonborn will instantly reach out and place a collar around Minos on a chain. And Minos will kind of pull at it, and the guard will pull him, and Minos will pull forward.
All right. Her Royal Moonish has decided that we're going to keep this Minos in a holding cell here with one of you to protect him from anyone who might try to assassinate him. So, I choose you.
And he points to Gunnar, and he goes,
You stay with this Minos. I like your
Take
threats.
orders from you, Kobold.
Gunnar, do you remember me? Can you come with me? I'm scared.
I will go with you if you wish.
So the
I
guards.
think we should all go with it.
No,
Eight guards.
you will head back to her Royal Moonish's chambers and make a deal. The three of you.
He says, pointing at Ironjaw.
One of
Peter,
you
and
kill the
Rocket.
kobold.
No.
So
I will
So
pay
how
handsomely
did these,
for his
how did
head.
these bars open?
so it's just a door that opens
Exactly.
up. It's just like a regular like jail
Is there
cell,
a
if you
lock
will.
on the door?
Yeah, there's a lock. So the key, the guards will have opened up the door, put the collar on Minos, pulled him out by the chain, and then relocked up the door. So the other Minoses are still locked in the cell. Gunnar and Minos are brought to another chamber within this cube, somewhere that the rest of you don't get to see. Sin will leave, will head out and tell the guards to bring you when you're ready to come see her Royal Moonness. So you're left in the Minos pen. Minos is no longer there. Gunnar's no longer there. Sin is no longer there. Half of the Dragonborn guards are gone. 4 of the Dragonborn guards took Minos and Gunnar to the holding chamber. So it's just you. Sorry, Peter?
Before Sin leaves, I wanted to like bump into him and then be like, oh, and like try to like play it off as it was an accident, but like look into his eyes and figure out if I can do like a medicine check on him, like feel like what's going on with his skin, like quickly
Okay,
evaluate him.
sure. So as soon as you touch him, instantly he'll recoil, and like will
Don't touch me. Don't get close to me. Don't you dare.
but in that moment you do have an attempt to see if you can figure out what might be wrong with him. So go ahead and roll me a medicine check. Oh, 9. Sorry. So unfortunately you're not sure dragon kobold kind of health.
You have the ick now.
Have you tried palpating the eardrums?
So the
I
three
couldn't get it
his
to work on
face.
the. I couldn't get it to work on the Minotaur, but
The three of you, Rocket, Peter, and Ironjaw, you're left in the Minos pen with the other Minoses, and Gunnar and Minos have been brought to
How
a
many
holding.
How many other Minoses are there?
like 2 dozen.
Probably another 20-ish.
So you got 20 Minotaurs, 3 of you.
I'm
4
kind of-
guards.
I'm like I'm
That's
feeling like we're
fucking
on
great
a
math.
Yes, I kind of agree. And like they're all carrying keys for the cell.
And Minotaurs are born armed, man. Like,
Yes. Yeah, I might kind of talk to these Minotaurs. Like, hey, Minotaurs, would you like to be free?
Oh, yes, very much so.
you gotta Harriet Tubman them.
But aren't these guards are gonna stop you, right?
Oh, what? Well, the bars are stopping us first.
Yeah, but how'd they throw you in here?
Oh, well, when I introduced myself and said, hi, I'm Minos, as is a very polite thing to do, then I got brought here.
Okay, well, will you help us rescue the other Minos they just took off? Since you're all Minoses.
Oh, well,
Except
we're
for
kind
you,
of-
Minos. We're pretty sure your cousin is looking for you.
Oh,
But if you want to help, that'd be great too.
Oh, Darian's here? Oh, I haven't seen him in so long, I was worried. None of them are committing to helping you, though.
Yeah, I
rescuing
noticed that.
Minos.
Or even like feel particularly. What happens
They
if I
wanna-
just try to pick the lock?
As you're picking the
Like,
lock, one of the
guards are kind of
Dragonborn
looking at me, right?
one of the Dragonborn will kind of toss you to the side, unlock the door, open the door, and then all four of them will walk out of the place, kind of snickering to each other.
Yeah, they're not really adventurers, are they? See, look, you can walk out.
Oh, yay! Oh my goodness, it's been so long! I've been here for months! So all of them are going to be pretty excited and will start to like rush and feed out into the pasture, which kind of pushes you guys out as well. So you guys will kind of get pushed out and will then start to... The guards who unlocked the keys and were waiting for you outside will then kind of gather the three of you up to bring you to Her Royal Minos' chambers. Minos and Gunnar, you're brought to a room by four of the Dragonborn. And Minos, so when you walk into this room of Godrock, it is completely plain. Instead, there's just one pillar with a ring and another kind of pillar. So the pillar attaches from the top to the bottom of the ceiling. There's a ring in the middle. This is all Godrock. That's right in the center. Minos' guard will chain him up into the ring, and then all the guards will leave you both in the room by yourself. The glow of the lights is still enough, but I think both of you have dark vision anyway, so you're both kind of there together.
Why?
I'm not sure. Even if you don't,
I feel like
I
should.
Yeah, even if you don't, it would be low light with the Godrock lead lines that provide just a little bit of hue. And Peter, Rocket, and Ironjaw, you're heading towards Her Royal Minos' chambers to make a deal for the release of the Minos. And I think that's where we're going to call it for the night. So that's the end.
Precious cow.
That's the end of part 1 of Minos in Trouble. And we will continue part 2 next Tuesday. I'm going to say goodbye to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but to Twitch, and you guys will be permanently kind of thanked in the YouTube series. But like Miles, Tadif, and I saw a couple new names. So awesome to have you here. Miles throwing some gift subs, Tadif subbing, and Sin stopping by. Also using Sin's name in vain for this discussing Kobold. Not any affiliation to Sin the Oracle, I promise. So thank you all, and we'll be back in a week. So thanks for watching.